Welcome everyone to our webinar today on isolved Attract and Hire. I'm Chris Sheridan with GTM Payroll Services, and joining me today is Christina Pearson, who is an isolved expert on Attract and Hire solution. And we also have Michael Matalone on with us as well. He's GTM's Director of Business Sales, and he's going to help field questions as we go out through this webinar today. Our plan today on our agenda is to cover some of the best practices in recruiting and what you need to do today to compete. Christina is going to cover isolved's Attract to Hire platform and how it can help you find and hire candidates for your organization. You should walk away today with some ideas on how you can improve your recruiting process in 2021. We'll also take questions as well. And as we go throughout the presentation, please use the functionality in the webinar console to submit questions. We'll answer some as we go, and we'll definitely have time at the end to answer questions as well. So the way you recruit new employees is an important piece of your business's success. With people changing jobs more often, efficient recruitment is key for reducing turnover by getting applicants started on solid ground. But it's not only the way you recruit, it is just as important to find an employee that is the right fit for your company. You need to stand out and differentiate your business in a competitive job market. I'm sure you've noticed you can't go anywhere today without running into help wanted signs. The pandemic has created a workforce shortage due to employees' concerns about returning to in-office work, limited childcare options, and pandemic-related benefits. And the pandemic has caused a mind shift for many who are reevaluating their career choices and priorities. All this translates to a tough job market for employers. And in order to compete today, you need to make sure your business is putting its best foot forward to attract the talent you need. And one best practice is to make sure your company culture and values are easily understood and visible to job applicants on your website. Use things like video and employee testimonials and incorporate this into your social media presence as well. The more applicants understand about who you are, the better the fit of the applicant. Also, review the images you use on your website and social media. Are they inclusive of all types of people in order to attract a diverse audience? Monitor your company reviews as a place to work. What has been posted on Glassdoor, for example? And cultivate feedback and reviews from your best employees. Another best practice is to review the process for applying for a job with your company. From Robert Half Talent Solutions, 62% of professionals will lose interest in a job if they don't hear back within 2 weeks of the interview, and 49% will ghost the employer if they feel strung along. Look at how much information you ask for. Are you asking for too much up front that could wait if the candidate progresses through the process? Are you making it cumbersome? Are you still using paper applications? Do you respond to applicants in a timely manner? How you treat someone you don't hire is just as important as the person you do hire. So these are all good questions to ask yourself about your company. The pandemic has really changed employees' expectations of the work environment and also changed employers. We figured out the work can be done at home. Now, certainly there are some businesses where this doesn't work, obviously like a restaurant, but it's important that you identify what works for your organization. And then ask yourself, where can you be more flexible? Is it working from home 1 or 2 days a week, or is it a flexible start and end times? These are things that job seekers today are looking for. Make your job, your hiring managers, and your applicants' job easier by using an applicant tracking system. More than 60% of applicants will start an online application, but leave without finishing it. To recruit efficiently, use a fully integrated payroll and HR platform that allows you to post to multiple job boards at once. More than 60% of applicants, as I said, are going to start that application and leave. And one of the things we've done at GTM using isolved for our own recruiting process is we use a very shortened up online application that we say takes 3 minutes. And then we collect more information down the road if we're going farther with that candidate. You want to improve the recruiting process, and using an online applicant tracking system will do that. And it also helps with employee engagement, even before the applicant is hired. When an employee's journey starts with a positive applicant experience through user-friendly and intuitive technology, it contributes to their overall satisfaction, which leads to lower turnover and a stronger company culture. This is one example of how GTM shares our culture with potential job candidates. And as I said, it's really important for people to understand what it's like to work at your company. That's going to find you applicants that are a good fit. We put a video on our page featuring some of our employers talking about why they like working at GTM, and we feature quotes on the page as well. We also have a page dedicated to working at GTM that talks about the perks we offer and our culture. So if you don't have resources like this today, you want to consider adding them. Potential hires aren't just evaluating the job description, they're looking at your company as a whole, and they're thinking to themselves, can they picture themselves working there? So next I'm going to turn it over to Christina Pearson from isolved to talk about the technology solution that can help you execute hiring best practices, accelerate your recruiting efforts, and give applicants the experience they are expecting.
Great. Thank you so much, Chris, and I appreciate everybody for jumping on today. Like Chris mentioned, the hiring process, the hiring culture in the last year has changed. So I'm excited to show you how we can help you take your current hiring process and streamline that, not only for you and for your managers who may be working at home, to be able to collaborate with each other and easily move applicants through the hiring process, but also make it an easier process for your candidates to apply. We have a few different ways that we promote this. I am going to go over a lot of those best practice items once we get into the system, but attracting better candidates can be as simple as posting a job ad versus a job description. You know, putting that legal description of the job isn't going to attract candidates necessarily as to why they should apply for your positions versus another company's. Reducing your time to hire, being able to move applicants through the hiring process quickly and easily, so you're not missing those people who are the best fit for your jobs because they're, you know, being recruited by other companies as well. We have deep integrations with the different job boards like Indeed and Facebook. So it is an easy apply process for your candidates. They're not having to re-enter information that they've already built into their profile on Indeed, for example. They can apply from their mobile phone, where a lot of people don't have easy access to a computer. The whole application process is mobile optimized, from the initial applying process to completing any additional information they have to. The background checks, offer letters, all can be completed right from their phone. You can text applicants through the Attract and Hire system. So again, makes it quick and easy. You texting an applicant, you get a response on average within 6 hours versus email that's maybe 24 hours or more on average. So all of those little things can really help in decreasing your cost per hire, how long it's taking, not only to attract those candidates, which could be additional costs in advertising on the job boards, but getting them through the door and hired. So that's what we're going to be covering today. Again, please use the chat for any questions, and I'll look out for those as I'm going through the system. But now I'm gonna go ahead and jump in and walk through the attract and hire with you. All right, so when you log into the isolved attract and hire system, which is technically a separate side of the isolved platform where you log in to do your payroll and timekeeping and all of that. We do have a single sign-on option for you guys though, for you and for your managers. So you don't have to remember a separate password or a separate login URL, but that allows you to customize who has access to the attract and hire system. If you need to add hiring managers or anybody else that needs to be involved in that recruiting process, but it won't affect their access that they have for the other side. They're not going to be able to see, any of that pay information or anything within isolved. So when you guys first log in to attract and hire, this is the first screen that you're going to come to. This is the jobs dashboard where you are able to manage your open jobs. You can post new jobs from here. You can view applicants from here. So this is going to be your main dashboard for managing any information that's being advertised to the job boards. Like I said, we do have different levels of access that can be set up depending on responsibilities. So you can give a manager access to review applications, but not necessarily post their own jobs. That allows you to collaborate within the system about specific applicants and job roles, but limits who has access to advertise things to the job boards. We do have a requisition process that is available within the attract and hire system. This typically is used as an approval process for a job before it gets advertised. This can be used for hiring managers to send a request to HR or the recruiter that they need to, fill a position. They can fill out questions like, is this a new position or a replacement? Who is it replacing? What's the anticipated start date? So it keeps everything within the attract and hire system. You're not having to send emails with those approvals outside of the system or, have managers fill out a paper form. And then we can set up an approval process for this as well, depending on who needs to sign off on that position before it gets posted. That is all customizable. This is not required, however, if you don't need, if your company size is at a place right now where that's not really a necessity, that's totally fine. You are still able to place and post jobs without going through that requisition process. Now we do set up job templates within the system for you. This is basically your job description library. So you're able to add your jobs, the positions that you're hiring for, build your templates. So you're only having to add them in once, and then you're able to use those going forward as you have the need to post that position. We do have different notification options that you guys can set up. If you and say the hiring manager wants to get an email when somebody applies for a position, those are all things that you can customize as you're posting the job. You can add pay rates, benefits. These are all great things to attract applicants. Adding a pay rate does increase the visibility and responses that you get for your jobs. I've seen it increase as much as 50% or more applicant response just for simply adding in the pay rate. So that's a great thing to keep in mind to include in your jobs if possible. We can set up internal job board for you as well for current employees to be able to apply for positions. We can have a separate application process for them so they can answer questions that would be specific for an internal candidate. And then you have the option to post it externally as well, which goes out to the job boards. We do have the ability to create different application processes for you. For example, if you're hiring drivers and need the option to have a DOT application with those specific questions for drivers to complete, that's something that we can set up. Plus, we can have a separate application for all of your other positions. It's very customizable that way. During the implementation process, typically we would take your current application and build that within isolved Hire. So you can determine which questions that you want applicants to complete through the application process. There is the option to set up job-specific questions as well. So for different positions, depending on the qualifications or experience that you're looking for a specific position, you can set those up. So for a receptionist, you may want to know, are they able to type at least 40 words per minute? Do they have experience in the Microsoft Office suite of programs? Can they work from home? Can they work a specific shift? You know, those are all custom questions that you can add into the process. If you do have positions that have specific qualifications, for example, if they have to have a certain qualification, certification, if they have to have a certain level of education, you can set those up as qualifying questions. So the system will automatically flag any applicant who doesn't meet the minimum qualifications that you set. That really cuts down on the number of applications that you're having to go through, because you're only going to see initially the applicants who meet those minimum qualifications. You can always change your filters and view those applicants who didn't meet the qualifications. So at the very least, can send out a no thank you email, but they'll be hidden from your initial view, which again cuts down on the number of applications you're having to look through. One other option I want to show you on here is our employee referral feature. If you guys have an employee referral program in place already, that's great. We can help you implement that within isolved Hire. So your employees have a place where they can go. They'll have a portal they can log into to be able to share jobs on social media. They'll have a dedicated link that will automatically tag that applicant as an employee referral. So you can go in and then run reports on those referrals, any payouts if you're doing that. So it makes it easy to track those. If you don't already have an employee referral feature in place, this is a super easy way to get that set up, because employee referrals are a great source of applicants. As I'm sure you probably know, most people don't refer somebody to a job that they feel like is not going to be a good fit for the position or for the company culture. So that alone is a really great way to help increase your applicants, is to, you know, have a employee referral contest. That's something we can set up within the system as well. Internally, we just got finished with a contest. So the person who referred the most people to apply for positions within our company got a prize. So really easy way to do that. Doesn't necessarily have to be a dollar amount, but you know, those incentives help. Right. Once you have all that information entered within the job description and you post that job, save it, that will automatically post the position to a number of different job boards. So all of these right here under this automated job boards free section are included within isolved Attract and Hire. These are posted automatically. There's not anything additional that you have to do. We will click these job boards as soon as you post the position, and we will push it out to all of these different job boards. If you do have a company Facebook and or LinkedIn page, we can link your jobs to the jobs section on those social media platforms as well. So if you have a marketing team or somebody that's in charge of posting that right now, we can automate that process for you. No matter where the applicants are applying from, they will come back into isolved Hire for you to review. So it's going to be one place for you to post your jobs and then manage your applicants. If you currently have a account with Indeed or LinkedIn or one of the other job boards, and you are either posting there, for free, or if you have a paid subscription, we can add those within isolved Hire for you as well. So you'll be able to select if you want to sponsor a specific job, and we'll take care of that for you also. So you're not having to log into multiple places to advertise your positions. And then again, it's going to be one place for you to review those applications. We can also set up other job boards for you. If there are local job boards, college job boards, maybe industry specific job boards that you post to or would like to. For your affirmative action plan, if you need to post to different diversity job boards, we have a lot of those already built in the system. If it's not one that we have available, we can always check to see if we can add it. So we have a few thousand job boards that are already set up and available for you to choose from, both paid and free. Some of them you do have to have an account with. For example, if you want to post to a college or university, you typically have to have an account, somebody who's an alumni that gets that set up, but we can add that within here, within the Attract and Hire system for you, so it's easy for you to post there. Okay, now in addition to posting the positions to the job boards, we will also create a custom career site for you. This one's branded with isolved, but when we're in implementation, we will take your graphics, your links on your existing website, and we'll build that into a custom career site for you. So if you're not already posting your jobs on your website, we'll help you do that. So the applicants coming to your website can click on careers or job opportunities. That will take them to the isolved Attract and Hire career site that we built for you, so they can see the jobs that you have open. We can add videos on here for you. We can help you create a separate landing page if you want to, add that information about your company culture and benefits and videos and whatever you want to use to attract candidates. We can also help you build a resource page if you need it as part of, again, for your affirmative action plan, but also if you just want to, have a link to your benefits, for example. Those are all things that we can help you build onto the site. There's not an extra cost for this. This is included within your implementation, and we can make updates to this page anytime. We don't charge for, updating your logo or adding a new picture or anything like that. That's all included within your Attract and Hire site. Okay, now once you have posted your positions, there's a few different places that you're able to review applicants. These little icons at the top of your page will allow you to navigate to the different sections of the Attract and Hire system. So if I click on applicants, that will take me to the applicant dashboard, and this will show me a list of all of the applicants that have applied for the open positions I have posted. You'll see their name, the date they applied, the job that they applied for. And over here on the right-hand side is the application status. This is basically a workflow for you to be able to move the applicant through the different stages of the hiring process. These are all customizable. If there are specific steps that an applicant has to go through within the hiring process, we can add those here so that you're able to easily track what stage of the application process they're in just by looking at the dashboard. You can also run reports on these statuses. So if you're looking to run a time to fill report, for example, to see how long it's taking you on average to move an applicant through each of the different stages of the hiring process, from hired to reviewed, interviewed, and then hired. You'll be able to do that. It's all based on those statuses. We do have a 5-star rating feature that can be helpful as well, where you, the hiring manager, maybe if you have a recruiter, can rate the applicant based on their qualifications. It will give them an average number of stars if multiple people rate an applicant. So you can, again, easily see that on the dashboard here. We do integrate with a number of different pre-hire assessments providers. So if you do use pre-hire assessments right now for skills testing or anything like that, like with Predictive Index, we have integrations with them. We can link those within the system so that you're able to send those pre-hire assessments to candidates and view those results. If you don't already have a vendor for pre-hire assessments, we do integrate and have some that we have available here. If you would be interested in pricing or more details on what's available for that, we'd be happy to get you that information. As you move an applicant through the different stages of the hiring process, these little tags will pop up under their name as well. So you can see what has been done on that application so far. If you've added a custom note, for example, you'll be able to see those notes here. If you've sent them an email or a text message through the system, that would be indicated here. We have one for offer letters. If you invite somebody to complete a full application when you initiate onboarding, there are a few others as well that you'll see, and it's easy to identify, again, what's been done on that application so far. You can also create custom tags if there are specific qualifications or experience, certifications that you want to be able to track and run query searches on later. You can create those custom tags here and add those to applications as you are reviewing them. Those are especially helpful for, again, specific certifications, maybe if they're bilingual, things like that. So as you have positions come up in the future, you can go back and search for those applicants who have the qualifications you're looking for. All right, now when you're ready to review an application, you can click on the name of the applicant. That will open up their information, take you into their application so you can see what they've completed so far. In this middle section, you'll see their resume. You can click to view a preview and view a snapshot of that document they uploaded. You can download it as well if you'd like. And then you have the job questions. So if you do have qualifying questions, you'll see the answers to those questions here. We do have a scoring option available for these as well. So you can give, total score of 50, for example, and then based on the applicant's answers to those questions, it would give them a total score. And you would see that down here. So that's another option, to help you as you're reviewing applications to kind of filter the applicants who meet the qualifications that you're looking for. We do track all action items that are done on an application. So when you're looking at an applicant, you can see over here on the right, any email that's been sent, any status change, all of that will be tracked here. So you can easily go back and view that information later if needed. And then we also track all applications that an applicant has submitted. So if this applicant had applied once before or 5 times before, I'd be able to see their history right here. Another reason that it's super important to use those application statuses is you can see what status their previous application was in. So for example, if they no-showed for their first day previously or didn't show up for an interview, that's information that would be helpful as you're reviewing additional applications that they submitted. So you can see all that information right here. This is where you can add tags. So if I wanted to add bilingual, for example, I can do that. And I can also just quickly add new tags from here as needed. There's a few action items that you can do on a specific application that I want to review. The first one is the send invite to applicant to complete application. So we do by default break up the application process into 2 stages. The first stage is going to be that quick application where they're answering job questions, attaching their resume. We can include the EEO questions, especially if you have to report on that, depending on your affirmative action plan. We can include that in the first stage or the second. It's very customizable that way. We also will collect the source on every application, so you can see where they're applying from and be able to run reports on those. So once you invite an applicant to complete the application, they'll get an email and a text message if they have provided a cell phone number. So they can go in and complete, their previous employment, education, references, any additional questions that you want to include on that full application. So that's typically saved for applicants that you're really considering moving forward with hiring, but that can be worked into any stage of your process if you want to have them complete that before they come in for an interview, or maybe just before they come in for their first day. You're able to send that whenever you would like. We do have a calendar integration that allows you to link your work calendar into the Attract and Hire system. So you can see your availability and send applicants invites for interviews. You can include information like a Zoom link if it's a virtual interview, or even your address, maybe who they're going to be meeting with to schedule those interviews, and then that adds it to your calendar and sends a calendar invite to the applicants. You can include managers in that process too, as long as their calendar has been linked within the system. You can see their availability as well. This spotlight application to another user option allows you to send messages to other users within the system. So this is something that can be super helpful for managers, especially if they've reviewed an application or maybe they've interviewed somebody and they're ready to hire. They can send a spotlight to HR to let them know. So you can go in and send the offer and do the background check and initiate onboarding. So again, it keeps all that communication and collaboration within the Attract and Hire system. Okay, you can add custom notes to an application here. You can print it if you would like a hard copy for their files or for an interview. And then if you click on Send Message up here at the top, this opens up the communication inbox. This is a two-way communication between you and the applicant. So it tracks all messages that are sent back and forth. Anybody that has access to this application would be able to come in and see the conversation. So if somebody's out for a day, you can come in here and view the communication that's been sent so far. You can select a template to be able to send from here. So we will set up some default templates for you when we create your site. Interview request, rejection email, we send a thank you email automatically at the time of application. Those will all be set up, but you are definitely able to customize the verbiage in those templates and set up any other email templates that you send on a regular basis. If you send a welcome email, for example, before a new hire's first day, we can help you customize that in here so it's super easy to send. But if you select one of these templates, you'll see these little hashtags or pound symbols, as I call them, show up in here. And anything that has those hashtags will autofill. So the first name, the job title, your name, company name will autofill into the template. So it customizes it for the applicants. and saves you time because you're not having to go back in and fill in that information. So when I click in here, you can see that it auto-filled that information. I can add additional details in here, maybe put my availability, and then I can either send as an email or send as a text. When the applicant responds to a message that I send through here, that response comes into the communication inbox, and I'll also get a copy of that message in my work email. So either way, you can view that message from here or from your email. You can respond from either place. As long as the first email originates from within the communication inbox, even if you're replying going forward directly from your email, those responses will be tracked back and forth. So it makes it super easy to communicate with applicants. Included in your account are 50 text messages per month. Those are for outgoing texts. So if an applicant responds to a text message that you sent, that does not count towards your 50. But you guys are able to upgrade your text plan if you would like to. It's definitely not a requirement. If you just use your 50 free ones per month, great. We're not going to charge you any extra for more. But if you're in your busy hiring season, and you want to upgrade your plan, you can do that. And then you can always bump it back down to the free ones. We give you that ability to add those texts as you need to. Okay, now moving over here, you can see the applicant's contact information, the date and job that they applied for the position, and also the source again. So if it is an employee referral, for example, you'd be able to see that information right here, who referred them. Once you've interviewed an applicant and you're ready to move forward with the next steps to actually hire that candidate, that's all going to be done right here within the application as well. If you are using any pre-hire assessments, that will be available here so you can see those results. We do have an integration with a background check vendor called ProScreening. They are the only vendor that we can integrate with for background checks, but if that is something that you're interested in adding, again, I can get you pricing information on that. But we can customize packages for you if you need to do a background check, drug test, motor vehicle record report. We have lots of different options available to customize those packages. The nice thing about the integrated background checks is all of the authorization forms are completed electronically. So you do not have to worry about having an applicant fill out a paper background check authorization form or anything. You just submit the order request for the background check, and ProScreening will take care of the rest. So they'll collect the authorization forms. Once those are complete, the completed background check will come back into the Attract and Hire system for you to be able to view those results. This background check and drug screen tab is typically not available for managers. That's usually something that is a responsibility of the HR department, although you guys can customize who can order background checks and who can view the results. Okay, then we can also set up custom offer letters. So with this feature, we typically take your template that you use to send to applicant or to new hires. So we build that into the Attract and Hire system for you, so you can customize information like the pay rate, the start date, who their manager is, all that information you would add into an offer. You'll add that into your template here. So we'll build these fields out for you. And we can have different offer letters for different position types. If you have one for hourly versus salary, for example, or maybe you have a sales offer letter that has commission structure in it, we can really customize what information is included here. And we do have an approval process available for offer letters also. So the manager can fill out the form, but maybe it needs to go to HR to sign it, or vice versa. You can really customize that process. So once you click View Preview and Confirm, all that information will populate into your templates. You can make changes here too. If you
have somebody who negotiated a different PTO rate, for example. You'll be able to customize that. Once you hit send for approval, it will go through that internal approval process if you have that set up. If not, it will go to the candidate for them to sign electronically. And then it will come back in here into the eForms tab where you can view it, print it, save it, whatever you want to do. But we will move that signed offer into their employee files in isolved when you initiate onboarding. So you don't even have to worry about saving that separately. We'll move that for you. Okay, and then the next step in the process is onboarding. So if you guys already have electronic onboarding set up with GTM, we will link that within the Attract and Hire system for you. If you don't, it's a great option to set up, especially if you're wanting to really streamline your hiring process, because that's a connection really between the two systems. So once they've completed their application process and you're ready to hire them, you're able to move them into GTM to do all of their new hire paperwork, and then make them an employee. So you'll come in here, click Start Process. You'll choose your EIN. So if you do have multiple entities set up with under your company umbrella, you'll have those to choose from depending on where this new hire is being hired to. So you'll choose the appropriate company, click Start New Hire Process. We do have the rehire process available within there too, if this was a previous employee. Okay, you'll choose your onboarding template that has all of the new hire paperwork. You'll choose the work location that they're being hired to. And again, we're going to pull this from what you already have set up within the onboarding module. So you don't have to enter this information in twice. If you add a new work location, we're going to pull that over in here for you. Okay, you can add in the start dates, the pay information, anything that you put in here is going to pre-fill into the onboarding workflow for you. So again, you're not having to enter this information in twice. When you get into onboarding, it'll make it that much faster for you to complete that onboarding process. Okay, when you hit send, that will send the email to the new hire for them to go in and set up their employee login within isolved and complete their portion of the new hire paperwork. That transfers them into onboarding and they'll show up under the pending EE dashboard. So from there, your process is going to be the same, but you don't have to manually enter the new hire in. We're going to transfer everything that we have available, all their contact information, their address, email address, that will all pre-fill in for the new hire. And then we'll also move their resume, signed offer letter, previous employment and education information. That will all go into their employee files. So it's a really seamless process for you. And again, helps eliminate some of that redundancy that applicant has to complete when they're doing their new hire paperwork. Okay, now that again is kind of the cutoff between the two systems. We will still save all of the application information in here for you. We do not ever delete information from Attract and Hire, so you can always come back and view that information if you need to. If you run yearly background checks, for example, you can always do that again in the future as needed. But during implementation, I will work with you to customize all of these features within your site. I handle the training for you guys as well, both for your admin level users and also your hiring managers. So really try and make this as seamless and easy as possible for you. We do have lots of training videos, webinars, user guides that are available too to help you learn to navigate the system. And then just to point out, we do have lots of reports that are available as well for different things. Pretty much anything within Attract and Hire has a standard report available. We can also build reports for you if you need that data in a specific format. So lots of information available within here for you as well. right, well, that concludes what I wanted to show you guys. So thank you again for allowing me to present that for you. And I'm gonna go ahead and turn the time back over to Chris or any questions that you guys have.
Well, thanks so much, Christina. And I've got a few more things just I wanted to share. And if you do have questions, please enter those into the questions on your webinar console, and we'll get to those in a second. And while Christina was going through this, I was kind of jotting down some notes about some of the things she mentioned that are really some great best practices. I think one of those was the fact about including pay rates for your applicants. This is going to help you weed out people who, you know, are not going to be interested because maybe it doesn't fit with their salary requirements, for example. And she also mentioned employee referrals. You know, there's no better ambassadors than your own employees to recruit for you. And incentives, we have them here at GTM as well. A lot of times people will tie a nice monetary award for the employee who's given the referral once they've hired someone and they've stayed for 6 months, for example. I'd also, another thing I thought of too is if you're, you know, have any awards or accolades in the community, like Best Places to Work from the Business Review, for example, you want to promote those. You know, I think if you're in the HR team, you might want to work with your marketing team as well to make sure that you're not just marketing your company and your products and services, but you're marketing your culture. So, you know, sharing fun employee events or community involvement things that you're doing are going to help applicants be attracted to working for you. Clearly, being able to have that speed of moving candidates through the process, I think the isolved platform does a great job of making that possible. You can easily see where you are with a candidate and how much time has passed and getting them through the various stages. That's very important. Also, pre-hire assessments were mentioned, and although, you know, using an outside tool for that isn't going to get you more applicants, but what it can do, especially if you're doing a lot of recruiting and a lot of open positions, it can be a really helpful tool for your managers to have another tool in the bag to assess fit. And obviously, if you get that fit right, you're not going to have somebody who's going to be turning over quickly. And as we mentioned, when it comes to recruiting and engaging applicants, you do need that payroll and HR solution that's going to transform the employee experience. And, you know, part of that experience is really important today, especially I think with some of the younger generations. They have, you know, that expectation that things are going to be online, that they're going to be easy, that they're going to be personalized. They are going to be looking for those, and this solution helps make that possible and improve that employee experience. And the talent acquisition solution, as you saw, makes it very easy to post jobs, able to customize it for your interview questions and your applications. You can easily filter through those candidates and conduct interviews, getting you to the right candidate to fill your open positions. And you can seamlessly manage the onboarding and compliance documentation as well, all in one single platform. GTM's team is going to manage that implementation process to ensure a smooth transition. And we provide in-person, you know, webinar trainings, hands-on training that's tailored to your needs using personalized instruction, as well as isolved's on-demand e-learning university trainings that are available. I've got one more resource to share with you today that can provide some additional tips, our recruiting, onboarding, and engagement guide for 2021. And you can download that at this link and get some more tips for things to do this year. And with that, we can come to our question time. We will be recording this and sending it out tomorrow. So I'll kind of ask Michael if there's anything out there that has come in.
Yeah, hi, Chris. And Christina, thank you very much. We did get some questions in that Christina and yourself have answered quite a few of them. But one that I'm not sure we answered, if I already use Indeed to post my jobs, how does the integration work through isolved? Christina, can you help with that one?
Yeah, great question. So I will work with you and your Indeed rep, if you have one, to set up that link between the two systems, so that if you want to continue doing your sponsorships on Indeed directly, if you don't want to reinvent that wheel, if you already have your budget set up the way that you want to, that's great. We can link the two systems together so that your applicants will all go through that same application process that we're going to set up and attract and hire for you. But those applications will come into isolved attract and hire for you as well. So you're not having to log into Indeed to view your sponsored applicants and come into attract and hire to view everybody else. They'll all be in one place. And I work with Indeed very closely to make that as seamless as possible for you guys. So it's not, so you can kind of do your same process. If you don't already have an account set up with Indeed, that's fine too. You can add that within your jobs as you're posting as well. And that really helps, especially if you have some harder to fill positions, or maybe one that you have, that you want to fill really quickly. Adding that sponsorship just helps with visibility in attracting applicants. So we can do that. Another thing that we also suggest doing is taking a look at your job ad. If you're not getting really good responses, something as simple as rewriting your job ad and making sure you have it optimized and have all the best keywords included in there to get the most visibility on the job boards will help. We do have a job ad writing service. It's available within Attract and Hire. We'll give you your first job ad for free. And then if you want to purchase additional ones, we have bulk pricing. So it makes it super affordable. It's about $50 per job. Or you can even just use that template to kind of help recreate some of your other ones that, you don't, if you're just using the job description, if you don't really have a job ad created, that can help get you started too.
Great, thanks, Christina. And then just one more here. What does the typical implementation timeline look like?
That is a great question. So once you have signed the service agreement and we start the implementation process, once I have all of your documents together, I can usually get you up and running in about 2 weeks. That includes all of your training, the customization of your site, getting your managers trained. That's the typical time frame. Of course, every company is a little bit different, especially if you have a system right now that maybe we're moving over some data from, which is something we can do for you guys. Just so you know, we can import data from a previous system. But I'll really work with you on what time frame is going to be best. I know especially in the summertime, it can be difficult where people are out of town and on vacation and things. So that's totally fine. There's not a specific deadline, but I will work with you on what's going to work best and easiest to get you guys up and running, but hopefully not put too much additional work on your plates. So that's the goal, to make this as easy and painless as possible.
Okay, well, thank you, Christina. And Chris, I think that's all we had.
I think so. So thank you everyone for attending today. And if you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out and we can certainly do a custom demo for you and your company's particular needs. Thank you.
Thank you so much.